Hi everyone, welcome to Amaranth. These are general messages for the collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus and Jupiter placements. Let's get into it. So the first card you have, Scorpio, is number 26 and it says Diary. So number 2, 6 and 8 are coming through prominent with this energy. Now, further it says, my inner world holds treasures. What I record becomes sacred truth. That's what a diary is all about, right? We write our thoughts, our emotions. Some of us have written this for years in our growing up years or in our adult years, when we need more retrospection about a certain situation and we write our thoughts down, it brings a lot of emotions. It gives a lot of depth to that situation. So I feel that with the diary here, there could be some kind of an information which is, hidden away. It could be that something about your family, something about yourself, your inner world, your inner emotions. Maybe you're writing it down. And diaries are very, very precious. They are time travelers, right? Because I've heard from people that, when they read their ancestral diaries, they get to know so much about their family history, about their ancestry. They thought things were one way, but it worked out in a completely different way. And it's an eye-opener. It adds more awareness. Sometimes it transforms people, the way we see their family, the way we deal with situations. So it's a very transformative moment like diary, whether it's for our own selves, whether we get to understand our situation and ourselves better, or later in time also when we open our own diaries, it helps understand ourselves better. How we reacted back then and how we're doing it today. So understanding of patterns and things like that also comes about with the diary energy. But in general, the diary energy is about, some kind of information that's, locked away. Some kind of maybe memoir. This could be a memoir, where we write our own stories. This could be about the world, about people around you, family, friends, whatever this is. It's a very healing energy because we're with ourselves. We're writing our thoughts down. It helps us to get greater perspectives. It's a very healing energy as well. So some of you could be just... sorry about the noise. Right. So the diary energy is about just preserving your thoughts, some hidden emotion, something information maybe that you want tucked away from people. You don't want to reveal it as yet. Or maybe this is a diary that you get a hold of, you get to read about somebody's diary or somebody hands it over to you and you find out a lot of information, or you get to know a lot of information, or somebody gives it to you just as a memoir, like to tell their own personal life story. This could be in any way. For some of you, this could be reading through a lot of information that is not available to everybody. It could be something like psychology. It could be something like astrology, and you're making notes and you're keeping it tucked away from everybody. That could be it. This could be some dream diary or dream journal that you're trying to make, and whatever your recollection of it is, you're trying to journal it down. This could be for some of you. This could also be that, there is some element of some kind of data coming out, whether it's data leaked in companies or, some kind of research paper that gets published after long research work. Somebody has been writing it down and then it gets published. But this could also be about some information that gets out into the world. We had an episode of WikiLeaks a long time before, and that kind of incident could also be a part of this energy. For some of you, you are in some investigative services or companies that you work for, and you're, you have to actually protect some kind of data that could be there for some of you. But this is also about something which is valuable. This is a transformative energy because the information is out. There's more, people get more aware about it, and then it transforms a situation. It has the power to do so. The energy of the diary has a lot of depth to it. So something that brings more insights, more information that allows us to get to the truth of things. And then, it's a very transformative energy. For some, this could be liberating. For some, it could be empowering. It's going to change for each one of you. The next card you have, Scorpio, is number 53, and it says death. This is scorpionic energy. This is transformation, life, and birth recycles. It further says that transform endings into gateways. I rise renewed. Yeah, so this is about just, leaving. It's just your rebirth. It's a new way of being. It's a new life. It feels like a new life because you've changed at the core level, right? From something from within has changed deeply. Shows something that maybe you found out, maybe through the diary you learned about something, and then whatever you had, thought before is now changed at the core level. Maybe some information came that changed you at the core level. But this is a transformation in a good way because now it's like you are becoming more you. Right? So this could be at your personal life, in your own emotions, it could be, but this could also be in your way of presenting yourself, something that you were doing before in a certain way, now you're doing it differently. It could be anyways. This could also be, it's a new reality, whether it's of you in the world or in the external environment, like the company that you're working, all systems going, new systems coming, is that death energy, right? Because things are changing so fast. We got to catch up. That catch up energy leads to old systems going away and new systems coming in. And at the same time, while the external environment is changing, our own personal lives also go through massive changes because we have to rediscover ourselves. We have to adapt. We have to align ourselves with new ways, new technologies, new people, new environments, new companies. New ways of being. When the smartphones came, the old traditional phones, it was a time of transformation. It was a depth time for those old technologies, right? Because something in the electronic world or technological world changed in a big, big way. It's hard to go back to those old phones now. It's that kind of an energy. So something inside of you shifts and it's hard to go back to the original thought or the original idea or the original emotion or the company. Maybe something changed in the company that you work for. Now you cannot even see yourself in that role or in that position because you started something new, which is good for you. This could also be change in your home. Maybe you're shifting cities. Now you're like, oh, you know what? I like my new city. I cannot go back to that old city. Or maybe you're shifting homes, creating new foundations. Maybe you're starting some different spiritual practices or learning more about spirituality. You might be growing, expanding. And after you learn, when we learn, the more we learn, our brain goes through so many changes. We cannot go back to our original selves. And, once you know, you cannot not know. You cannot unlearn what you learned. I mean, you can unlearn, of course. What I'm saying is once you you learn like alphabets, you cannot know, you cannot sorry about that noise. Right. So we cannot forget things that we have learned. Once we acquire a skill, we cannot forget about it. Yeah, I mean, over a period of time, if you don't practice, yeah, it fades away, but then we cannot. I mean, it's not that you will never be a newbie in that. You will never be a beginner. You will go to the next phase of learning that, right? So it's a similar situation. Like once you know more, you got to let things go, right? You got to let things go. You got to adopt a new way of being or a new way of doing things. It's a new cycle which is starting for you. And so this is also Phoenix Rising. So something that didn't work for you, you're using all the knowledge, the wisdom, and you're strong enough now to change things up, to make it better for you. New beginnings. The next card you have, Scorpio, is the Eight of Cups, and it says indolence. It further says, I release what no longer nourishes me. I walk towards vitality and renewal. That's exactly what this is. So you are walking away from things that are really not working for you. After long-term investment, you might be putting in your energy, your effort, your time, your money into a situation that has drained you now, and it's not budging, it's not changing. This could be that, you're preparing for some kind of school or maybe some exam, and you're investing your time into it. Maybe you're a student that's trying to clear an exam, but you're like, you know what? I already gave it twice. It's not working for me. It's not for me. I'm going to try something else. And you do something else and it works out better for you than the previous exam. Something like that. So when things stop working, they stop growing, it's for us to find another way. And I feel you are doing exactly that. Dead ends. what are you going to do? You got to just take a U-turn and go away to in a different direction, right? So when we leave behind old situations, people, cities, places that, no longer work for us, you may be in a city, you might be looking for a job in that town, and you're like, you know what, I've waited for 8 months, 10 months, 12 months, and it's not working. Let me shift to another city and find a job. And the month you move, the next you get the job. So it's that kind of an energy. But it's just that it takes a lot of strength, emotional, to move away from this. This is what it is. Indolence is just that you're just avoiding the change. You were avoiding it for a long, long time, but now it's draining you, It's not adding any value. It's not making any sense. It's keeping you stuck. This could be that maybe you were stuck in a place and you were planning to travel and you couldn't, and now you're like, you know what, I am going to travel no matter what. So you decide to go on a travel away from the stuckness of your mundane job. You decide to take a job which you can fulfill through travel. Something like that. Or maybe this is like companies that you work for, they want to go towards more sustainable practices, so leaving the old behind because it's not making sense, especially the factories that are releasing so much pollution. You're like, you know what, let's stop this because the fumes are worse, making climate worse, making things worse. So let's go towards sustainable practices. You could be working very much in companies like that where you're designing policies, or you're seeing things change because the old ways are no longer working. This could also be in your own personal life, in your own choices, hobbies, or the way you dress, or the way, for example, you grew your hair because you wanted to try different hairstyles, but then, you're braiding your hair, you're taking care of it, you're doing everything, and you've been doing it for a long, long time, but now you're like, you know what, I'm tired of braiding my hair, I'm tired of taking care of it, I want shorter hair. New hairstyle, I'm going to let it go. Even though you were like, so attached to long hair and those braids and those styles, but now it's not working for you because maybe you moved to a different area where the weather's different, or you want it more easier for yourself. So now you're ready to cut your hair a little shorter so that you don't have to braid it and things like that. I mean, it's hard to let go, when you've had long hair for a long time and then suddenly you have to let go of that. It takes a lot of courage. So basically, Scorpio, something in your life is changing in a big, big way. You're moving away from things that were boring or exhausting, whatever. And now this is like, okay, thank God that's gone. Thank God this is like, a new city, new way of being, a renewal in a big, big way for you. And the last card for today, Scorpio, you have is number 35, the noble one. So number 35, age are coming through strong with this energy. And it further says, my strength lies in integrity. I rise with grace, and through that, I transform the world around me. Right? So rising, right? Rising above, or rising in frequency, right? Rising in vibrations. Scorpio, look at this beautiful card. It's all lavender. You might be into lavender shades. This is such a graceful woman out here, and I feel that you are, extremely graceful right now. This is how you're coming through, highly a person that is honored, person who is so refined in their taste, in the way they deal with people. This is about, a leader who's inspirational, not who is dominating, I had learned about a new leadership style, not a new leadership style, a popular leadership style. It's called servant leadership. And actually that model is highly respected in a lot of organizations. Why? Because the leaders, they lead by, service, by serving other people, serving the company and things like that, and they do it with a lot of positivity, with inspiring and empowering their team, the other people, not dimming their light. They do it with a lot of honesty and integrity. That's the servant leadership, which is getting really popular. And I feel this is that kind of energy for you right now. Scorpios, you are highly magnetic people, highly magnetic people. But when it comes to dealing situations with a lot of praise, you become the powerhouse right there and then. Right? So right now you might be walking away. You already have the walking away card. So I feel that you are dealing with difficult situations in a very responsible way. You are honoring yourself. you have the respect for yourself and for other people, and you're carrying yourself very powerfully in a dignified way, right? Very refined way. I also feel that you might be avoiding any kind of drama right now. You are not participating in any kind of negativity. You are you're just, you're powerful in your own right, and I feel that you're leading with that quiet power, not by shouting or screaming. I feel that you're avoiding situations that have any kind of toxicity, toxic power struggles, or any kind of hostile environment, because you don't believe in being part of that, power struggle or domination. You're not about that. You just are very graceful in your style, in your demeanor, very soft but powerful. You have that inner power, and you're leading with that. You're doing things consistently, transparently, not cutting corners, not taking shortcuts. For some of you, this could be some kind of you protecting something, maybe some information, some data, but you're doing it with a lot of knowledge and wisdom. We have the diary energy for you. So I feel that you are protecting something, but you're doing it very graceful. You're not being loud or very arrogant about it. This is also like anything that hurt you in the past, you're not being revengeful about it. You're just walking away. And that's the true wisdom. If something's not been given to you, you're not fighting for it. You're just, you respect yourself enough to know that it'll be given to you when the time is right, right? And in doing that, you're just honoring your truth. You are staying peaceful and calm and not creating any inner turmoil for yourself. I feel this will lead to a huge mega success for you. Like Queen Elizabeth, she's very poised. She, so much going on, when she was the powerhouse, taking care of so much. And then, she wasn't loud about it. She wasn't, she was very gentle. She was very graceful. She was very dignified, in her approach, in her ways she carried herself, and the way she did things, very graceful, very poised, and she was handling so much. So it's that kind of an energy. And these general messages, look, they are differently in your lives. Let me know how these energies play out in your life or in the environment around you in the comments below. And Scorpio, hope you enjoyed your messages. So thank you guys for joining. Please subscribe and hit the like if you enjoyed the content, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Bye for now.